The Immaterial Games podcast with these guys.
Owie. No,
Yeah, I hit my hand off the deck a bit too hard.
My hands are sensitive.
It's weird with the
Hands
clap
weak.
sync. It's the
Finger spaghetti.
clap sync's the most destructive part of any podcast.
I can believe that.
Yeah, just seems to be how it works. So yeah, this. I mean, idle games. I'm just looking at them. You know, idle games are lazy by nature, but honestly, I don't know why I'm doing it on a PS4.
That doesn't seem like the optimal console.
Yeah. Oh yeah, can we play anything? No, because I got the idle game going.
Imagine an idle VR game.
Oh my god.
It's a headache simulator 2020.
Yeah, you just put the helmet on and just watch it play itself. It's just like...
Yeah. Put the helmet on, go to bed, and then just open your eyes every now and again just to check that it's still working.
Dude, freaking... Let's get SimAnt VR. The game that plays itself.
Oh yeah. Oh, that'd just be awful. No, we can't do that.
That's
No. Let's get some interactivity in our lives. Let's level up this podcast, maybe.
Yeah.
That was an awful segue.
How about that?
Well, I'm here. Well, let's do it. This is the Immaterial Gamers podcast.
Not an idle game.
Not an idle game.
I mean,
Definitely
podcasts
not.
are basically the idle games of videos, though.
Yeah.
But is it really idle? I mean, you still have input.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
Still
like,
gotta
if
show
you're
up,
if you're
put in
watching
effort.
it, you
You just
don't
put it
even
on
have
the
to look at it.
Yeah. All you have to do is click to the window every now and again to check that it's still going.
Yeah.
Even you know.
You don't even have to
You
do
should be
that if you
listening.
can still hear it.
Yeah.
True.
You know, I'm not saying that I listen to podcasts as I go to bed, but I listen to podcasts as I go to bed. Generally, wrestling ones,
Okay.
because it's
Oh,
always
yeah,
funny
but-
to just hear someone's batshit opinions about a batshit crazy storyline.
That or you have the, desert bus or whatever.
Hey, Desert Bus.
Do you ever wake
is
up
good.
and like the first thing you're doing is you're suplexing your pillow and you're like, "What? Why did I do that? What's happening? Where am I?"
I may have put my duvet in the sharpshooter. It's just
Put
a
my
thing.
duvet in the sharpshooter.
Yeah.
That sounds like a euphemism for doing something that I don't want to describe.
Oh, so yeah, Jesus Christ, marriage counselling. I just want to go back to the times where I put my husband in the figure four.
No.
just the counsellors just there with their pen and they're just going, remove programming from life, and then then he suplexes her out of the window. I've just come from the fact that there's currently a storyline going on in the wrestling involving who's the father of the pregnant wrestler.
That doesn't seem
Wait.
safe.
You shouldn't do that.
She
You
doesn't
shouldn't
wrestle.
be you're pregnant. Okay, I was gonna say. Well, is she a wrestler then? No, I mean if she's pregnant.
Yeah, well, she is a wrestler, but she's pregnant, so not in
Wrestling
not in the
is,
story because she's actually pregnant.
On hiatus.
Yeah, because she's actually pregnant, she's not allowed to be in the ring. Which is compared to, and I can't believe I'm saying this, back in the 90s, where they had pregnancy storylines where the wrestler in question wasn't pregnant, so they always had to find an out. Like pile driving her through a table. I'm not joking, we keep going back to the old Attitude Era where there was a storyline involving an old woman who gave birth to a hand after complications with pregnancy.
Man, the drugs are strong with these ones.
Yeah. So, introductions. I'm Ryan. I'm not a hand.
Proof?
And, we've
Pixar didn't happen.
Prove that you're not a hand.
Facebook with the Clue HQ picture that we had from the escape room that we successfully completed. Also with me this week is Duncan, who is
Probably not a hand. I'm not 100% sure. I'm also
Okay.
not an old. I'm also not a pregnant old lady.
Yeah.
So that's good.
Yeah, and then we've also got Andrea,
Hi.
who's also disputedly not a hand.
I'm actually a foot.
Ah, there we go. And then
Try to
Far
finally,
away
birth
from a hand you
defect.
can get.
yeah, and then finally we've got D, who's not handsy.
No touch.
Oh man. So we've also got the bird.
Cameo appearance by Kibo,
Yeah,
the conure.
yeah. I'll keep that one in. just so we can do that. So yeah, it's been a week of gaming.
Allegedly.
That's
Allegedly.
debatable.
Yeah, there was a conference that went on by Sony. There was the State of Play. Most of the weeks have been spent with people making Goose memes because of Untitled Goose Game. It's just a thing. Like I was saying to the guys on the podcast, there's a video going around of a man who's played MTG Arena and did a video of the goose stealing one of his magic cards. The goose is everywhere.
The goose is taking over.
The goose is life, and life is the goose.
Shrek's got some competition.
Yeah.
Hey now, you're a goose star.
Honk.
Get your honk on.
Honk,
Get
honk.
honked. Yes, Steve.
The goose reminds me of Top Gun.
It's not that goose. Though, actually, now saying that, Top Gun with the horrible goose. Honk.
This is the content I subscribed for.
Yeah, honk way to the danger zone.
Honk way to the honker zone.
Honk. So, yeah, we will try and go for a podcast without any more mentioning of the goose. So we will get on with what's been played.
No promises.
Goose.
Damn it.
What's being played?
We lasted half a second from the bit. Right, so who shall go first? Let me decide. Andrea.
Ah, me. The
Yes,
laundry's beeping.
Oh god, she's part robot. Her alarm's just gone off.
I have just today, actually, for like the past hour, I've been playing Pizza Game.
Pizza Game?
The world's worst visual novel.
Oh, what? Hold on. I thought the world's worst visual novel was the KFC tie-in game where you have to date Colonel Sanders.
This was made before the KFC tie-in game.
Oh, okay.
It came out, I believe, 2 weeks ago, and the reason it's called the world's worst visual novel, I was about to say isn't because of its content, but it's arguably because of its content.
Okay, fair enough. What content have we got in this arguably worst visual novel?
Well, I have the trailer here for reference because I've only played an hour of it.
Okay.
But one of the selling points is that there are over 185,000 words, and almost all of them are typos.
Oh God. My brain.
You play...
the thought of it.
You play as Cayenne, like the pepper, and...
Spicy.
And you are the new personal assistant of the rich CEO, Mr. Aramnaze, who is definitely not a murderer.
Oh, definitely not. Okay. That
totally
always
not
goes
Dr.
well.
Zed.
There are
You on
6 dateable NPCs, and the
Yeah.
trailer lovingly gives us notes on all of them.
Oh, good.
So we have the previously mentioned Mr. Aramnaze, who is a murderer, I mean a rich, handsome CEO.
Ah, of course.
And Cayenne's notes on him are, he's so cool and aloof and handsome, he's also kind of a cheapskate, but that's why I love him! Actually, I love him because he has money. Absolutely a serial killer.
Oh my God, a serial killer, but your main character is a gold digger at that point.
With very low standards.
Yeah.
It's
like, could get a lot of gifts from rich husband, might also get murdered by rich husband. I'll take the risk.
actually, it's said by the game's lead artist, Mr. Jello Apocalypse, that Cayenne is kind of a terrible person. Which,
well, it's nice to see that Mr. Apocalypse has given us quite character growth here.
yeah, and there's more to that I'll get to in a minute, but,
Okay.
let's see here. We also have, Chris, who works at the local cafe.
Alright, Chris.
With,
Very... Oh no.
with wonderful notes such as, he is a demon, runs a cafe.
Is he a literal demon?
I mean, he's got the horns, so...
I'd say so.
Obviously.
What was he?
Yeah, he runs a cafe, has a dark secret, but what could it be?
Is it that he's a demon?
Oh, he's a demon, it says it right there, oops. Doesn't let me put
Fair enough.
things on my tab to get out of paying for them. I mean, say what you
Bad.
will, but so far from what I've seen, Chris has some of the best, events in the game.
Any relation to Damien from Monster Prom?
No, it doesn't look like it.
Damien. Your pyromantic pyro nature.
Yeah, no, there's just, a scene where he's, turning you down. It's like, it's not you, Cayenne, it's me. I need to spend all of my evening writing in my hatred diary this evening. Your hatred diary? Yes, it is where I write down all of my hatred on you people. I'm on volume 27. Am I in it? Yes.
Oh. No other context, just yes.
It's just
That's
a
all
pause.
you need to know.
It's just a pause, and then it's just, yes.
Oh, God. And who else do we have?
We have Lamp, too cool for school.
Hmm.
And, Cayenne's notes on her are, huge bully, master of twisted, that's not a thing. Lamp is in my driver's ed class, always calling me a loser. Ugh, I can't stand rude pupil. The lampshade is cool, though.
This is just... This almost sounds like someone just decided to go, oh, you know what? What do I like? Vodka bottle, butterfly nightstand, fan, glass. Yeah, you know what? These all go together.
It's charm anime.
Ah.
It is all a big joke.
Yeah,
it's
I
a
guess.
lovely joke, though. I mean,
Yeah.
one of the other selling points in the trailer was that you could adjust the volume, so...
You would be surprised at how many video games really constrict your ability to affect the volume of the game.
Like, you can get this very fucking beginning when you like Borderlands. Jesus.
That's because of, unfortunately, and I have to say this, Gearbox, love you as a games company, love Borderlands, however, get your shit together. Please have the volume options reflect when you launch the fucking game, not when you just get to the main menu. Many a time, I've been just sat there minding my own business, letting the game launch, and then you just hear the massive Gearbox.
Then just turn down the volume of the application.
I just push the launch button and just throw my headphones anywhere. Though it's funny because I then go to, just go to the kitchen to get a drink, and in the living room, I'm on my own, I just hear the muffled... Yeah. It's just mad. So anyway, are there any other features of this game? Does it have a selling point that lets you adjust the brightness?
No, there is not. Unfortunately.
Ruined. 0 out of 10. No sale.
We do have 3 other eligible dateable NPCs, though. Including one whose bio I actually hadn't completely read until just now.
Oh, go for it.
So we have Sensei.
Oh, jeez.
Hot for teacher? Ew, no, pick a different route. My driver's ed instructor. What even is this guy? Some kind of mutant? There are wheels where his legs should be?
Okay.
And that's all it says.
Questions have been raised. Questions for which there are no answer.
Yeah, this is a bizarre game, and I assume this just operates like any other visual novel at this point.
Yep.
Reams of text.
Lists under the gameplay. It's a visual novel, so there isn't any. Click to advance the dialogue.
Yep, click to advance the dialogue until points where the dialogue doesn't advance until you make either a binary or tertiary choice.
Yep.
That's how things go.
Actually, the example in the trailer that was given for picking an option was an option where all it says in the dialogue box is just Karate Chop Mr. Nays, and you have 4 options that are all Karate Chop Mr. Nays.
Oh, nice. Nice.
So many options. Which one to choose? I'm gonna go number 2.
In the tutorial in the game for making choices, you're supposed to convince the secretary at Mr. Nace's company that you are not a spy sent in by Linux.
Okay.
It makes sense.
Damn you, Linux.
It makes sense in context.
Linus has gone too far. Damn penguin.
But basically, so your two options are I am a spy or I am not a spy. If you hit I am a
Okay.
spy, you get 2 more options, which are I'm from 8 generations of spies or I was just kidding. If you say you were from 8 generations of spies, Kayan just goes, it's okay, not everyone's good at it.
Jesus Christ. It would have been better if she just said she was Monica.
Just Monica. Just Monica. I'm gonna play my harmonica.
We...
Oh, please.
Actually, is that a barbershop quartet with just Monicas? Is it just called a harmonica?
Really?
Get out.
Four Monicas, all singing.
Yep.
It's a Monica.
So based on the small amount of time that you played, is it bizarre enough for you?
Yes. I mean, the trailer on my own sells me, because, again, that's like 90% of what I've been talking about, because that's where I get most of my context.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, you can basically get the gist of it from the trailer. And honestly, it feels like one of those games that I would just gather a bunch of you for, and just have a nice long play of it, because I feel like it'd be at its best with greater numbers of people.
I have their reactions to it, like, sort of.
Yeah. Well, let's say with this Discord streaming thing, it's just opened up anything that we can actually do nowadays.
Yeah, so it's like...
It really is an excellent feature. It's just like the fact that there's like basically no delay at all. It is exactly the same amount of delay as just you talking.
Yeah.
You know, like when you do your syncing for the Jackbox plays and all that, it's like
1, 2, 3,
literally
1, 2, 3.
as you're talking, it counts. Like, you know, there's no like 1 move down, 2 move down, 3 move down. It's like
1, 2,
completely
3,
in time.
Yep.
Yeah.
So,
Lockstep.
Just to wrap up with our dateable characters, however, we also have Keen, the delivery boy next door.
Okay.
And Cayenne's notes are, oh, a normal one. Works at the pizza place. Keen's a nice guy, but recently he's being framed for murder, and honestly, that sounds like too much drama. But he does have tickets for my favorite boy band.
right, hold on. So him being framed for murder, that's the normal one.
Well,
There you go.
there's an entire scene
Discovery.
where Mr. Mays is like, I will not be framed for murder in my own home. And the scene just changes to like a street outside, and it's just like, much better. Let's proceed.
Just like, no, this is not the place I need to be accused at. No, this makes more sense. Okay.
It's like that Ask Steph skit where it's just like, you want to take this outside? It's like, yeah, let's go. And it's like, it's a really nice evening out. This was a good idea.
This music is too depressing. Do, 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 do. Much more jovial. Helps get the darkness away.
That was actually a plot point of Fruit Baskets. A few episodes ago.
I think I'm about to get called for food.
Okay.
Alright, well, I'll wrap up with
Then.
Rubit here.
Yep.
There's the phone.
There it goes.
Hello.
Rubit has been christened as the mascot character. Some sort of rabbit cop? Her ears are so cute. Rubit is trying her best to blend in with normal people, but it's hard because she is almost definitely from outer space. The only good character.
Oh, the so out there that's the only route to take character.
There's also Cayenne's roommate Johnny, who does not have a playable route, and it honestly makes me a little sad, but he is voiced by Antfish, so that's cool, I guess.
Oh, of Team 4-Star Infamy.
Yes, I didn't know who he was before I looked him up 40 minutes ago.
Oh, currently plays my favourite character in Final Fantasy Machine Abridged, because he's Barrett.
Yeah, no, it's great though, because like I kind of figured he must have been a big deal, because in-game characters also have bios that Cayenne's written. And at the end of Johnny's, it's like, also he's voiced by Anthony Sardina, I guess? And I'm like, oh, that probably means he's important.
Yep. Oh, Team 4-Star. Should really actually get round to finishing Machine Abridged.
Yeah. Also, I probably should have waited to bring up that last point until Duncan was back from getting his McDonald's.
He'll return. And this is the point where we can just like talk about stuff for a few seconds until he comes back.
I'm back.
Perfect.
Duncan, did you know that Antfish is in Pizza Game?
Hey, from Team 4 Star.
It's from
That's the one.
TF2.
Yeah, from Team Fight 4-star.
Team 5 4 Star.
Oh, if they could do that, if we could just get Team 4-star to just play TFT, they'd probably do it a damn sight better than anyone else. Anyway,
The only
right,
thing I really watched for Team 4 Star is Dragon Ball Z.
Machine Abridged is one to watch. I've heard people telling me Hellsing Ultimate Abridged.
Oh, actually, no.
Mm.
Hellsing's pretty funny. I've seen Hellsing.
Mm.
I was just taking a walk. Stop taking walks!
Yeah, no, it's just a closer with Cayenne is a terrible person, which I briefly brought up.
Ah, yes, you did.
Also, when going over dialogue options, Cayenne goes, "If there's anything I learned in boy college, it's that you should always pick the option that people like most. You know, like a psychopath. These people's lives mean nothing to me."
Oh my god, absolutely hateable.
The
Yeah.
perfect self-insert for a dating simulator.
Yeah.
There's also Inner Cayenne, who's basically Cayenne's conscience, except not, because according to the Pete's Game launch party that they had, which was basically live streaming the first few hours of the game, according to Mr. Jello Apocalypse, Inner Cayenne isn't actually Cayenne's conscience, it's like a parasite that's kind of latched onto her, so...
Oh, great, so she's no. Oh, I don't remember. Stargate. Anyone watch Stargate?
Nope.
Nope.
Damn it.
Shut
Where's Mike
Shut
when
down.
you need him? Where's Mike when you need him?
Stargate.
You got shit.
Talking about the guys that
They're the ones that have the weird, like, parasites inside them. Not parasites, like...
symbiotic. They get the
yeah,
ghoul.
symbiotes. Yeah, the
The
ghoul.
symbiotes from the ghoul.
Yeah. Cheers, D.
And epic save.
Yeah. Woo! Critical success. Right. So, we've had weird visual novels. And we're going to move on to D.
I started Borderlands 3, but the game from the Humble Bundle I've been playing is Cat Quest.
Cat Quest.
Yes.
Please, continue.
You would like the namings of stuff, because it's a very punny map layout. You basically play a little cat, and you go on a little adventure, getting armour and swords and stuff to beat monsters up and save people.
Sorry, I just had to... My grin when you said it was very punny and stuff like that was basically a Pennywise Skarsgård grin. Just that one that just keeps going.
It's like one of the mobs you got to fight out in the ocean is called Cthulhu. Cthulhu?
Catfulu.
Yeah. The
Nice.
capital is Capital. Stuff like that. Yeah, it's... Yeah, you know what I mean.
This is low hanging mute. I mean, fruit.
You can play, after you've done the storyline first time, you've got the MEW, so the Mew, what adds modifiers.
Mew Game Plus.
Well, no, there's New Game Plus, but there's Mew Game. Basically, you have 5 modifiers that you can activate. What makes the mobs harder, you're naked, so you can't gain any armour. Another modifier, you can't get any, you don't level up, so you're level 1 through the entire thing. The other one is...
What kind of RPG do you not level up in?
Basically, you have to use the armour.
Answers to that.
To get the achievement, you need to get the armour. You walk around with just armour on, defeating the level 100 mobs.
Okay.
What was hard? Really hard. What was the other modifier? There's one way you can just carry your armour across, but you don't gain any armour bonuses for it. Because the new modifiers, there's a unique armour set that you can get from it. If you can complete it with up to 3 modifiers. Oh yeah, 9 lives is the other modifier. You have 9 lives.
Because you're a cat.
Yeah. So, you gotta choose up to 3 modifiers. Well, if you want to get the armour, the achievement I haven't got, what is Detain the Old Master set, you need to play it 3 times through the main story bit, and you need to play it with 1, 2, and 3 modifiers.
Okay.
The naked one isn't as hard as having no levels, because every time you level up, you gain a little bit of health, 1 magic, 1 damage. With that modifier, you have to work on the armor that you have. That's it. And there's like dungeons that go up to level 99, level stuff like that. There's actually one that's level 200. That one's a pain. But yeah, you run around like a little city and you're saving cats and beating mobs up. but it's all in one open world, if you know what I mean.
Right.
And you learn water walking and flying at one point. What opens it up.
Like Jesus.
But yeah, you just start walking across the
Or
water.
Naruto.
But yeah, you walk across the water to the GM island called the Founders, and they give you, like, their armor is a freaking two-piece suit. So
Of
yeah,
course it is.
but yeah, basically you gain the armors.
Like Hitman.
As you get, oh, don't worry, the ultimate armor is courage, faith, and something else.
It's a Triforce armor, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like faith gives you a little red dot on your foot. Courage gives you no sword at all, and then the other one gives you like a belt, but they're actually pretty freaking decent. Like the stats are ridiculous to make up for it. So yeah. But yeah, basically you do little dungeons and stuff, and I played it for about 8 hours and didn't get a freaking achievement. Because a lot of the achievements are complete the game with the modifiers.
That's how achievements used to be in the day, because they didn't used to do stuff like that. Achievements,
Well, there's 12 achievements.
The main thing was to just beat a game.
Well, the 12 achievements are reach level 99, clear all 52 dungeons, complete all the main quests, complete all the side quests, obtain all 7 skills, obtain 66 armor and weapons, well, basically all the armor and weapons in the game, beat the Mio game with the modifier, with the 5 different modifiers, and the last one is get the old armor set. So yeah, you don't gain a level for you don't get an achievement for turning the game on. You've got to get through 100 levels, do all the quests, all the dungeons. So yeah, it's a fun little game, if you know what I mean. Just don't expect to get achievements really quickly.
I mean, back in the day, all the cool achievements were games that made you play the game in a different way than you would normally do it,
Yeah.
Play with these handicaps, do these things along the way,
Well,
figure out what this cryptic hint means and do something weird in the game.
Let me tell you, in my time, I've definitely learned how to differentiate an achievement that's fun and makes sense in comparison to a bullshit one.
Yeah, but
Just as an example of bullshit achievements, Edna and Harvey's New Eyes, which is an adventure game that I love dearly. 90% of its achievements are just do this thing over and over again infinitum until you get the achievement.
oh, like in one of the annoying ones for Dungeon Defenders, do the special delivery, kill 1,000 things, but they didn't give you the thing for ages because it's bugged out.
You all know the bullshit achievement, don't you?
Yeah,
Video gaming's most bullshit achievement. The Simpsons.
Go ahead.
I was going to say the Simpsons movie game.
I
Gave
had
you an achievement.
achievements?
Yep.
I thought those
For
were
pushing start.
I thought those were only for Nintendo consoles.
No, there was an Xbox Simpsons game.
The other...
It was literally you push start and doo-doo, there's your achievement.
I mean, I think Pizza Game has an achievement for starting the game that's just titled Instant Regret, with a description of how do you refund a digital download.
Oh my god.
Yeah. There's one of the games, I got an achievement in one of the games for launching the game. Not playing it, getting to the start screen.
Wow.
It's like, wow. You've launched the game. Good for you.
Oh, classic. So, yeah. So we've got
a story quest. Well, both of us have had a story adventure, but that's yours. That's a novel. This is more. You're a cat and you're in a cat empire, and you've got to be a hero and save the day from the evil dragon dudes. Woo! That is the main things. You're a dragonborn. That's the big
Dragonborns.
So you have to beat dragons up.
Of course you do. So, yeah, what epic adventures have you been on, Duncan?
Wow.
Scary ones.
I say in between mouthfuls of a double hamburger from McDonald's.
Oh, that is an adventure. Dollar
real
saver
roll of the dice.
menu.
Well, I suppose the only games I really have to talk about for this week are the ones that I've been playing with my loving sister.
Hi.
For our upcoming thematic monthly special treat.
The Immaterial Gamers Spooktober 2019.
Yeah, so far we've completed 2 games.
The first and the last.
We're doing this quadratic style. First,
Nice.
outer, inner, last.
Yeah.
Radiant and Victoria. So,
So, I guess which one do I want to talk about? What do you think, Andrea? You pick one. I'll focus on one.
I'm gonna.
Mad Father.
No spoilers. We haven't gotten to that one yet.
Okay.
I know I've been playing it a lot, but we haven't got to it. Hold on. I'm gonna find a coin.
I've got plenty on Idle Champions of the Forgotten Realms here. There's just coins littering the floor.
Okay, I got one. Okay, so Misao will be heads for Misao's decapitated head.
Got it.
It's heads.
Well, in that
Alright,
case,
so
it's Mito.
let's talk about Misao. So, it's not a soup, which you may be thinking it is, but it's definitely not.
He named the recording file Miso Soup on
Nice.
OBS.
Yes. I honestly forgot that I did that, but yes, that's funny. So Misao is a very short form, sort of 2D
2.5D.
Japanese style, like point and click adventure horror game.
Okay.
I mean, there's no pointing or
it's-
clicking.
Well, I mean, adventure game? I don't know what you'd call it.
Go
It's just
adventure
a game. Sure. Very short. It's only like, if you know what you're doing, it takes like
2 hours.
an hour and a half, 2 hours to beat it.
It probably
If you don't know, maybe a couple hours more.
the definitive version is very vague compared to the original. Like, hi, this just became a joint thing.
It happens.
But, so there's a character, Miss Library, who's in both versions, and throughout any point in either version, you can ask her for hints about what to do next.
Right.
Where
okay.
this differs, however, is in the original, if you haven't started certain quest lines, she'll be like, hey, have you tried doing this? Have you tried doing that? Like, she'll just go through a list, just listing out all the things that you could be doing right now. She doesn't do that in the definitive release. She'll only give you help if you're in the middle of a quest line. Jesus.
Oh god, I don't even know what's just being put there.
That's my carved.
Spooky.
Mm.
So it's lovely.
I hand carved that,
It's very nice.
and that's with the figure filter.
Okay, tell, don't show.
There's pumpkins.
Yeah,
Alright.
I did a Jack Skeleton pumpkin a couple of years back. And that's the
Oh,
picture.
yes. The one that we mentioned in one of the recordings that we've done that's not come out yet. Yeah. Need to get back to Stefan to make sure there's some progress on that
And there's another
alternate
photo.
logo. Nope.
If that doesn't look for me, yeah, it's basically the same photo but 3 times.
So, pumpkins, and pumpkins. So, yes, Misao.
Misao. So anyway, the basic premise
Wiki.
is that you're in like a Japanese high school. I mean, ostensibly Japanese. I don't even know if it's explicit or not, but anyway, you're in a high school. Some girl named Misao has gone missing for some time.
Like 3 months.
3 months. And
Okay.
just as you're wondering what's happened to her, it turns out that she has died and that she is haunting the school. She throws the entire high school and its population into another dimension full of horrors and spookies and monsters.
Its entire
God.
population is it's a loose term. There's like 6 kids.
Yeah, there's like 6 floors in the school and there are 3 classrooms. It's like Japanese Wayside. I made that
it's
joke
like-
several times.
It's classic Japanese RPG high school systems, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's like Persona. You know there's supposed to be a high school full of students there.
but you interact with like the same 10.
Yeah.
To be
Maybe
fair,
12.
in 5 there was a good variety.
Yeah, there was more
They
people.
they were silhouettes, but they existed. Oh,
Yeah. I don't know, I think it may also be like, oh god.
Class 3
Tokyo
from-
Mirage Sessions. There's
Well-
like there's the main characters, and then there's just silhouettes. It's Ruby. It's Series 1 Ruby.
Well, no, it's like there's the whole 3E thing from Assassination Classroom.
Yes. Misao.
So, Misao.
Misao.
So she throws the school into another dimension, and she and her, otherworldly demon cohorts all start haunting and systemically destroying all of your fellow classmates. You slowly discover that maybe it's actually okay, because as it turns out, most of your classmates were a bunch of fucking assholes anyway.
I
Oh,
could
perfect.
deserve better,
The
Duncan.
wall who all took turns bullying and or abusing Misao in some way or another.
Ayaka died for our
Okay.
sins.
And yeah, it's so yeah, the whole idea is that you're trying to gather like relics of Misao's belongings.
Or Misao herself in the
From different-
original.
Yeah, the original, it's like literally parts of Misao that you're putting together. In the definitive edition, the only thing that's actually a part of her are her hands. The rest is just stuff that she owned.
Okay.
You basically offer them up to an altar and try and put her soul to rest.
Bludgeon your teacher over the head with a baseball bat. It's a good time.
Just everything that you would normally do in school.
Yeah.
That's
So yeah,
He deserved it most of all.
kind of reminds me of
Yeah.
Danganronpa.
Not quite, no.
Oh,
But,
Danganronpa.
yeah, maybe we could talk about that sometime. But
We'll get to that hill when we get
yeah,
there.
it's a fairly simple game. It's a little spooky, a little good atmosphere. But if you're not really that into horror games like I am, it's a good little experience because it's like it'll spook you, but it's not like Resident Evil like ruin your life just for playing it.
Except
Fuck, what have I done?
except for that one scare.
Oh, what? The one that the student that was at the door that in the classroom.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
not fair.
So, like, there's a point where you have to go into the classrooms and slap some flowers onto some of the desks.
As you do.
And you have to do 3 of them, but it's mentioned that there are only 3 classrooms, so you gotta do 1 in each. So I was like, oh, there's a classroom right there, buddy. And he's like, oh, okay. So he walks in, and all of a sudden the ghost of this girl just starts, like, slowly sliding towards him. And he's like, no. And he just ran downstairs.
It was about walking speed. Like, it was, like, about the same speed as your character moves. It's just like, and it's not like she starts from the other side of the classroom. She's, like, 6 feet away. It's like, oh, fuck! You just immediately back out the door, and then you go back in, and she's gone.
It took a lot of coaxing to get him to go back in.
Yeah.
It's like when you're hiding in
There
a closet.
are another a big draw for the game is that there's a lot of ways you can die in the game.
Yeah.
Like it's like straight up King's Quest. Like some are just like regular, spooky haunting deaths, and others are just like outright comical.
The book.
So it's like the game absolutely has a good sense of humor.
Tekken, please tell them about
Yes.
the book.
Yeah. So there's a book. There's a book in the game. If you don't read it, it will kill you.
What?
It
will open up and latch onto your face like a face hugger, and just wait until you suffocate.
Oh my god.
There's also getting eaten by painting.
This actually sounds like an interesting game.
Another good one is there's this wall with some blood leaking out of the top of it.
Mm.
And if you check the wall, a spear just comes down and takes your head. And then your body just falls over.
Oh, this would be the worst for me because I'm a curious bastard.
Well, it helps.
I want to interact with everything.
Well, the thing of it is like there's a room in the game where you can go and like review all the deaths that you've seen and collected through the game. So like obviously they intend for you to explore and try and find as many ways to kill yourself as possible.
I think there's an achievement for dying in every way possible.
And there's a quick save option where like it's just like a one button press quick save. So anytime you try to do something that you think might kill you, you just push the button, go do it, see what it's like, and then just move on.
Yeah.
So it's a horror game. You'll jump once or twice, but
this sounds interesting. I'll play.
Overall, it's
I would recommend it.
It's a great introductory type of game for light horror.
There's a reason we started with it, Bubby. No.
Yeah.
We still need to do a machine fix. I don't recommend machine fix.
No, we're not going anywhere near Amnesia. You can stop. That is not happening.
Honestly, part of me wants to do like just little doodles, just tuck in like the thumbnails for the Sibling Rivalry Spooktober Spectacular. It's actually better together, but Sibling Rivalry has better alliteration videos just for fun.
Yeah.
But like I don't know if I'm allowed, so
Meh? Who knows?
But yeah,
Eh.
say that. Go on, Amnesia.
So that's my game.
Okay, cool. Right, well, I'd say I've played enough of it now for my one, that I've actually now kind of got the Fire Emblem bug.
oh god, it's spreading.
Oh.
What have you done?
I got Fire
I've
Emblem
done a good thing.
Awakening, and I've played enough of it now to actually get an idea that I like the game very much.
Well, that's the best one.
Oh,
so
please tell all.
So, I will say it now. because I've never played a Fire Emblem game before, I went casual. I did.
I'm not gonna
Whatever.
judge, man. I don't play classic. I'm too dumb for that.
Yeah.
She's too baka for that.
The record will show. I'm the only person. I'm the only one who's let people die in the Three Houses playthrough.
Oh.
I mean, I let.
Well, no one's died yet.
Yes, they have.
Just been like,
Did you forget Ignatz?
Did Ignis die?
Yeah.
Or was it just like, oh, I've been injured. I must go recuperate.
He was the first perma death we had because I wanted Hilda and Marianne to live.
Meh. Whatever.
That's a shame. If that hasn't happened yet, I don't know where we are, because I think we're on like episode 5
Well,
in terms of it.
it was
Well,
an
6
odd.
will have come out by now.
It was an odd number, so chances are it might have been that one.
Yeah. But, yeah, no, I, got into it, got my character Robin, I think is what it was, just the default name.
That's the default
character.
name.
Yeah, and this is, okay, the game starts with me having a fight with Crom.
It too,
And then
Robin?
I stab a dude. And then next thing I know, I'm waking up in a field.
With the
with a bunch
dude
of
you just
people
stabbed.
Led by Crom?
Who you just stabbed?
Yeah,
Yeah,
whatever is
magic
going
stab
on?
Crom, and then you wake up and it's like, oh, there's Crom.
Yeah.
I guess
So,
we're all gucky.
Yeah, so this seems to play the way that these, I'm guessing these newer Fire Emblems happen, sort of an overworld where there's short breaks in shopping with fights. And, classic Fire Emblem game mechanics. Move on a map, look at danger zones, try and take the biggest advantage of the opponents you're facing in order to get the best XP you can for the people who need to level up when they do. Don't die. It's all good. But, trying to think in the storyline, where have I... Oh yeah, I encountered Marth for about the third time. Now, just so because I don't have much Fire Emblem knowledge, wasn't Marth originally a male? Or have I got it completely wrong?
Why would you say that?
So, Fire Emblem's a weird game. So, at times it has sort of the Final Fantasy quality of like, every game has the same name and shares common elements, but they're all essentially different worlds, different universes.
Like Persona.
Like Sid.
Like Sid.
Yeah, but they don't always follow that rule to a T.
No.
Like, some games are interrelated and take place on the same world at different times, etc.
Like Persona.
Okay. Yeah.
Like the GBA one, like the GBA Fire Emblem, which is just called Fire Emblem.
Yeah.
Good creativity.
Is a prequel to the game that Roy is originally from, which was a Japanese exclusive. I can't remember which one it was. It was one of the second or third game in the series.
Fire Emblem,
a very early one.
the one that Roy was in.
Yeah.
That's its
Fire
canon
Emblem,
name.
that's
the
actually
new class.
that's the name. So in the case of Fire Emblem Awakening, it does indeed take place on the same world as the one that Marth is from, which was like I believe the original Fire Emblem.
Mm.
Like he's the OG
Blue-haired lord.
The OG blue-haired lord. Yes.
Crom's still the best one, though.
But it is like way in the future, for like 1,000 years in the future from that setting, and it's effectively like the political landscape and everything is like so very different.
The actual
from Marth's world
landscape.
that it's effectively completely a different world. But there are some references to that element.
Okay.
For example, this character who I don't know if her real name has been revealed yet, but this character who calls herself Marth is essentially she takes that moniker from that ancient hero of legend known as Marth.
Right. Yeah,
So
I haven't
she is
received
referred
her
to
name
the
yet,
original
so-
Marth.
Right. Okay.
There's also
So I guess
a character
I
introduced.
guess that'll. Sorry, go on.
There's also a character introduced later on who makes specific reference to Marth.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, there's another character who comes up later who is a character who was from the original game, was like an ally of Marth's at the time.
She's a really good unit.
Right.
You should try to get her if you can.
I certainly will try to get her. So yeah, because I haven't learned her actual name yet. But the other thing that makes me feel like then is that it's almost like Link, so the hero of time business. It's just like, oh, there's so many different storylines, and they all happen to be called Link. So
It's just,
it's kind of like that, except there really only was like one Marth.
right.
Besides, we can't make
Okay.
that comparison because Nintendo will never have the guts to make Link a girl because it will make the fandom cry. for some reason.
Yeah, they'll just add Linkle as DLC into Breath of the Wild and Hyrule Warriors.
Make it happen.
Yeah, but I'm enjoying it. I say a few chapters in, I like the sort of idea that you can push through the main storyline if you want. You can do the side quest if you want. You can buy a stinking box and just place it on a random portion of the map and then face high levels of Risen if you want.
That's what I do to force people to get married.
Yeah. Yeah, the support mechanic in this game is the definitive edition of the series, in my opinion.
Yeah. I do like that, the support conversations and the barracks, and the fact that, there's the world map updates either through story progression
or real time.
Through real time. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
it's like and I don't know how much how much you know or if you've read into it at all. But suffice to say that the support mechanic and getting characters married in particular is a gameplay element that has huge ramifications and huge consequences down the road.
Oh.
Quick, Ryan, who's your best unit right now? Or overall? I don't know. It's a matter of opinion.
Or your favorite. I don't care.
I'm trying to think of my favorite unit so far. Oh God. I think it just has to be Crom.
To each their own.
Yeah, just as it is.
Crom's a solid unit. I mean, moderately high strength, good speed, all that good stuff.
Yeah, trying to think of probably the first cavalry unit that you get that's not Frederick.
Who is that? Is that Sully?
Sully, yeah.
Sully's good. I've always been a fan of the faster Cavalier characters.
I'm still.
There's a lot of archetypical repetition throughout the Fire Emblem games. One of the big archetypes is
2 Cavaliers.
You'll generally have yes, exactly. 2 Cavaliers. Yeah, you'll start the game off with usually 2 Cavaliers, and one of them will be more of a faster Cavalier. One of them will be a lot more
tanky
strength and defense.
Yeah. See,
hence,
y'all.
Hence Frederick and Sully.
No, not Frederick and Sully. Tut.
What is it?
Stall.
Yeah.
I'm gonna die on a hill for Stall. Don't diss him like this.
No, Frederick is a whole other thing where he's there's often like another big archetype in Fire Emblem is that you'll always have like one unit that you start the game off with who's like pre-promoted and has crazy high stats. It's basically just sort of like a noob crutch where it's like if you have really no idea what you're doing and you get overrun, you have one OP unit that you can use to sort of mitigate your losses.
Yeah, works for me.
Throughout the early games, it was a big thing that unit was like generally not a very good unit. They just have like a bit of a boost to them, but they fall off in the late game.
Yeah, I mean, I don't use him in every situation. He's sort of my get out of jail free card if stuff goes wrong. In more recent games, they've made it so that your pre-promoted unit is a little bit more useful in the late game.
Well, I mean,
you just have to wait for them to catch up.
In Fates, they solved it by killing him and making it so you couldn't get him until the later half of the game. So, I don't know, but I guess you also had Jacob. Never mind, and Jacob's like good all the way through.
Yeah, and one of the things that I like to do with that unit in Awakening in particular, again, it's like the best game of the series, is that with the pair-up mechanic that lets you, put two units on top of each other and give each other stat boosts.
Yes.
One great thing you can do with that unit is if you don't like use him in combat, you can put him as an ally for one of your weaker units, maybe one who is kind of lacking in the defensive stat, and give them a little bit of boost to their defense, their movement. He's a great assist. He's a great support unit for like healers and stuff.
Yeah, I personally use him as
typically not very robust.
Specifically, the Lisa Defense Squad trademark symbol.
Yeah,
exactly.
It's a squad of 1.
Fact.
I guess 2 if you count the horse.
Yeah.
Yeah, give the horse some credit. He's doing his best.
Poor horse. But I'm going to be definitely playing more of it. I'll see how the rest of the game goes, because that's my entrance into Fire Emblem, and want to make it a good one. So
I've actually really heard of Fire Emblem before.
It's different, sort of a tactical RPG. In the way that it even sets itself out apart from other tactical RPGs. So, It's
Well, it is the OG tactical RPG.
yeah. The
I think
Pretenders.
it came up before Final Fantasy Tactics.
Trying to actually think. Oh, they're both around. But,
Oh yeah, definitely. Fire Emblem came out in like 90, and Tactics didn't come out till like 97.
Yeah.
Oh god, all I can think of right now is when we were talking about the elemental systems in Final Fantasy, and we had this big conversation about it and how like they always trip me up because I assume fire is good against ice, not water. Or
Yes.
Fire is good against ice.
oh wait, no, my brain's all scrambled. But my point was,
Yeah, it's
just something about the weakness system in Final Fantasy didn't make sense to me, and I was like, it should be like Shin Megami Tensei and Persona. That stuff makes way more sense. And Duncan's just like, but Final Fantasy's older. As it turns
And I was
out,
like,
Persona, or the Shin Megami Tensei series is older by like a few months.
yeah, like they barely beat Final Fantasy to the punch.
yeah.
SMT game.
Yeah. And in their weird first-person views where you didn't see anything other than static images of the mobs you were facing. Like Phantasy Star as well. Jesus.
I still like a plushie of the Jack Frost or the Pumpkin guy.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Pyro Jack.
Pyro Jack, or Jack-O-Lantern if you played Persona 5, because the name needed to be longer.
Yeah. You know,
I actually do.
the Jack brothers.
I still
were
want
good.
to play the first, I guess technically 3 Persona games. I've played a little bit of one of the versions of 2, but I think because PlayStation decided... I think because...
Was it not something that me and you played, Ryan?
Yeah, that's an SMT game. Lucifer's Call, as it was known over here. Nocturne, as it was known everywhere else in the bloody world.
Yeah, no.
But
I don't think I'll...
I
don't think I'll ever be playing Persona 1, though, because I think Sony shut down the PS Vita's eShop, which was the only place I could get it.
Yep. Bastards. I still got my copy of I've still got a copy of Persona 3 FES.
I think Portable's still installed on my Vita.
Yeah. It's all good. Right. Well, we need to move this on.
Because I'm going to work soon.
Yeah.
Oh.
So the spot call question, we've got 5 minutes to talk about it.
Oh boy.
The spot call question.
So this is based off on the news. I gave the guys the question beforehand. I've not, sprung it on them and give a bit of time to think about it. But this is based on the news that Sony had their State of Play conference this week or last week, and one of the announcements was The Last of Us Part 2. Naughty Dog have just decided, years down the line, they make games. So here we go, the continuation of that franchise. But they also announced that the game was going to be on 2 Blu-rays, making it, in the diplomatic way, fucking huge.
I'm sorry, Persona 5, you haven't run for your money.
Yeah, and that they also were going to cancel the previously announced multiplayer experience that was going to be in the game. And that led to fan backlash up the wazoo.
I'm shocked.
Basically going, oh, this has ruined The Last of Us. How can it have no multiplayer, blah, 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 blah. Okay, personally, I have to start by saying it's a single-player narrative experience. So the question I gave to the rest of the Immaterial gamers here was, is there really a need to shoehorn multiplayer into otherwise single-player experiences?
Well, I want to go ahead and come out of the gate playing devil's advocate against you and just say, first of all, that's a horrifically loaded question.
Yeah, I'm not gonna deny that I have bias.
The implication here is that it's like the implication by using the term shoehorn is that you are automatically assuming that the multiplayer doesn't work inherently or is unnecessary.
Mm-hmm.
So what one would be considered a shoehorn experience would be subjective, and it would vary by case.
Yeah.
I mean, does The Last of Us need a multiplayer experience to exist and to be as good as it possibly could be? Maybe not.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, that's. Sorry, go on, Andrea. Go for it.
Well, I just think it's kind of like a case-by-case basis, like just to use some examples of games we talked about today that are single-player. Pizza Game is a game that will never need multiplayer because it's a visual novel, so as for the genre, except for some games, like Monster Prom, it's completely unnecessary. But for games like Fire Emblem, it isn't required, but say like a co-op mode would be cool, where you both have a band of units that you try to take down a mutual target with, for example.
Mm-hmm.
It's like when we played, went through Tales or Symphonia. You only, realistically, we had to, one person controlled Lloyd, that controlled where we went and what we did.
Mm-hmm.
But then the combat system was that we all had, you didn't have to deal with the stupid AI.
Yeah. And so I know where you're coming from. That was an interesting way of solving multiplayer in what is essentially single-player games. JRPGs, a lot of the time, were big single-player games. It was interesting and to say, it was added just as a thing. Namco Bandai and the Tales development team just added it in. They went for an idea of what if your friends could join in on the fight if they wanted to, and they did.
Yeah, because I was playing, we had a Mountain Nessus or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't change, how that was sort of working, but, like I say, minus the shitty AI, the game was still the game at its core. My concern with stuff like The Last of Us is that in something where it is so character-centric, with Joel and Ellie, they're the main protagonists of The Last of Us, there's such a big focus on them and the world that they're in and the whole cordyceps virus, which is just a horrifying thing of how to take something that occurs in nature anyway and move it to an extreme. For those who don't know what the cordyceps virus is, it's based off a fungus that used to infect ants.
Is that the thing the mushrooms in Earthbound were based on?
I think it may be something like that. What would happen is it would sort of take over. It was like a parasite would take over the host, and it would, in this case of the ants, it would move them away from the colony, and they would just spread elsewhere, mess up everything, and then eventually just die. At which point the fungus finishes off the brain of the ant, grows out,
Slurp, slurp.
and releases spores, and just carries on. And the whole thing with The Last of Us is that it's basically that fungus has been able to take over humans, and that's where these sort of infected zombies, whatever, come from. But yeah, you've got this massive storyline focus, but people don't want to play it because they want to play the multiplayer mode with nameless, faceless characters just killing each other for tins of beans.
It's like Call of Duty.
Yeah.
Which is never a good comparison to make.
No, it's not, but it's the same sort of situation. So, and that's what Activision would say that they've solved that problem is just by getting rid of the single player narrative completely. Which now basically means if you want to play a military shooter, you have to play it as a competitive deathmatch game. Not that the storylines of Call of Duty have been great anyway, minus the.
I'm generally not a fan of the trend of moving towards like multiplayer-centric games. I mean, I know I came out swinging at you just about, I had good reasons for doing that, but in all honesty, I do have problems with a general trend towards online multiplayer focus in video games, mostly because I have a personal problem with the idea of a game that has a temporary lifespan and like won't be able to exist after a certain period of time has gone by and the game is no longer supported. Yeah. And when a game depends on central servers from the first party to run and do anything, once that game is no longer profitable, it's like the game just turns off and there's nothing more to the conversation. It's over.
Yeah.
That game that you spent $50, $60, $70 on, it's that's you're not getting your money back from that.
Yeah, it's just gone. No archival of game history.
I didn't come here to get called out for my Splatoon purchase.
Oh, rip.
It's like I don't mind the the games themselves. It's just the way the industry is set up right now. They have no recourse for people who want to keep playing the game with a small dedicated group of fans after the game is no longer popular in the order of millions.
Well, Splatoon has I think it has not necessarily local multiplayer, but I actually don't know. I don't know if you'd need the servers open. Just play a game with your buds.
Yeah.
And that's where I say that it's less about, in my opinion, there's factors of what the main focus of the game is, whether it's a mainly character-driven, story-based narrative. Those are factors too. For me, it's less. It's as much of a case by case for the game, but also a case by case for the company and the way it is physically implemented.
It's
Going to what?
It's a bit like the Arkham franchise. You can't really have a Batman game with it's have random people. It's okay.
I mean,
yeah, there's not really. Cooperative Batman.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But I think that's where Rocksteady got that focused on. It's no, we got this single player Batman game. Oh, we're gonna have a multiplayer mode. No. Next question.
So it's because it's
Batman and Batman.
I think probably, and this isn't. I'm not just saying this because it's a recency thing, but legitimately, I think that Borderlands 3 might be one of the smartest, most organic implementations of multiplayer
because it doesn't
gameplay.
It's the way it scales to the person, not to the group.
Yeah, it's not you have the jump in, jump out cooperative experience that you've had for a while, but you also now they've adjusted it so that higher level characters,
don't just walk in, murder everything, and leave.
Yeah, they get scaled down appropriately, or their enemies get scaled up, whatever the case may be, so that they're still fighting enemies that are relative to their strength, and you're still fighting things that are relative to your strength.
Well, it's like on not Destiny, Division.
Well, yeah, that has the same sort of.
Yeah, but if you're playing in World Tier, it drags me up to 28. But the person who's the high level just basically walks through it, kind of.
Yeah, okay, that's the problematic one. Yeah, I think Borderlands has took its scaling system from new World of Warcraft expansions, in the fact that everything in World of Warcraft now scales with you. But if you're in a team of groups of people of disproportionate levels,
it'll level you out.
The mobs will still be sufficient if you were 65 as if you were 5. So, it's there. And it does it in a way that it doesn't fall into the trap of Skyrim, where you don't feel like you're actually getting any fucking stronger. Because everything else is just getting stronger as well.
Oh, the Dark Souls thing. Play Dark Souls for 100 hours and you're like, yay! I killed the boss! Woohoo!
That's just because, someone would argue that if it's took you hundreds of hours to beat that boss, you've played it wrong up to that point. But who knows? I haven't beat that boss. I've got no say in the matter. But that's a little bit of talk that we have. Let's say
just a little.
Spot call questions. Yeah, the spot call questions aren't always going to be unbiased. They may be loaded based on personal biases, but still get discussion, and I've got a bit more informed decisions about what everyone else thinks.
It's very game by game basis. Certain games work well on their own, some work well as a multiplayer.
Yeah. I think I've just been burnt by shit like Mass Effect 3, which forced you to sit there and play wave defenses with people just so you could get the best ending until they brought out the Ultimate Edition.
Oh, there was a game that annoyed me. I played 95% of it on my own, and it goes, well, if you want to get 100%, you need to play with others. I think it was Watch Dogs 2. I went all the way through Watch Dogs on my Todd, and it's you completed 96% of the game. The last 4% is co-op. Really?
Oh well, 4% can go fuck itself.
Also, I like how, Ryan, you're just yeah, it's good to have the well-informed opinions of others. How much water does the opinion of a 17-year-old girl hold?
Well, if it scales like everything else, it's the same as the opinions of everyone else.
Oh.
Ah.
Basically, opinions scale just like levels.
I understand.
Yeah. Galaxy brain. No idea.
God.
But I think we best get to the wrap up for this now then, because it's we're running long for a change.
Yeah,
Like really
it's
long.
been over an hour.
Yeah.
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 So to the wrap up. So first of all, if you liked what you listened to, do the like, share, subscribe thing and click that bell.
Ding ding.
And leave those comments. Yeah, ring-a-ding-ding, typey type. I'm not going to mention the schedule this week because this will come out just before October, where the schedule's going to get flipped.
It's going to be spooky.
In addition to, or maybe in replacement of some stuff, depends on how things are going. Yeah, we've got Spooktober 2019. So, like I say, it's going to be split into two halves. Half one is Duncan and Andrea, or Duncan getting provided experiences of horror games by Andrea, of separate games over the next sort of few weeks. On the other half is me playing Resident Evil 7 with whoever wants to watch. And I am enacting the swearbox protocol, which means if I swear, I pay for it, in the form of a charity getting a nice donation. But I'll explain more once we get the video set up
Hooray.
for that. And other than that, check out the social media pages. We do have them. We've got a Twitter, we've got a Facebook. One day I'll set up an Instagram if I really want to. Snapchat for Immaterial Gamers. Just all the updates will disappear in the wind.
Immaterial
And
Gamers'
then,
official Tumblr page.
And then, there's not much we could do on there. But, until next week, thank you, Dee. Thank you, Duncan. Thank you, Andrea.
You're welcome.
Always nice to be here.
And, until next week, please, for God's sake, don't jump scare each other.
No promises.
Oh, no.
Because
Okay.
they might die.
Yeah.
And then you would have killed someone. And that's our biggest rule. No killing.
Yeah. Breaking the rules. We're all Batman in this shit. Batman. See you next week.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.